Good morning. I'm delighted to be here today. I thought I'd start by telling you a little bit about South of Scotland Enterprise. We are Scotland's newest development agency and the first to be set up by the devolved Scottish Government. We're also the first to have three key areas of focus that shape everything we do: community, economy and environment, people, prosperity and planet. We work across the Scottish borders and Dumfries and Galloway, coast to coast from Eyemouth to Stranraer. We're here to support traditional and emerging industry sectors, communities, inward investment, and most importantly, in many ways, to amplify the amazing things that are happening here in the south of Scotland, to tell the world about the innovation and ambition we have here. I was asked today to talk a little bit about the net zero economy, creativity, and creating sustainable businesses. So what is net zero and what does the net zero economy mean? And most importantly, what does it have to do with us in our daily lives? Net zero is essentially the balance between the amount of greenhouse gases we produce and the amount removed from the atmosphere. We reach net zero when the amount we add is no more than the amount we remove. A net zero economy is one that brings together key sectors, industries, consumers, communities, and critically, behavioural change to meet these targets. It is and should be a well-being economy, an economic system operating within safe environmental limits that serves the collective well-being of current and future generations first and foremost. Sounds simple, but of course it's not, or we'd be there already. In Scotland, we emit approximately 45 million tonnes of CO2 annually, so by 2045 we need to have that figure down to zero, and we have to make sure we aim to cut emissions in ways that support sustainable economic growth. Stopping emissions alone will not provide us with the economic wealth we will need to address some of the issues we face, so it's critical that we innovate, that we are creative in how we tackle this, and how we reach that truly just transition. We can't change the world, at least not alone, but we can change where we live, our villages, our communities, and by working together we can change the south of Scotland. In many ways we are already leading from the south. You may have contributed to our regional economic strategy, which is a real focus on cultural and creative excellence, innovation, a green and sustainable economy, thriving in distinct communities. This maps directly onto the Scottish Government's National Strategy for Economic Transformation, where we see objectives around entrepreneurial people and culture, new markets, productive businesses and regions, and a fairer and more equal society. For us in SOSE, that gives us both that place-based strategy and the national framework to deliver it within. It aligns our priorities for the south of Scotland with the national priorities of the Scottish Government. It's also important to note that the south of Scotland was the first region in Scotland to launch a coherent, collaborative, ambitious strategy with clear direction and objectives. The Regional Economic Strategy, or RES, really comes down to creating a fair, green and flourishing south of Scotland, a regional well-being economy. But how do we do that? We talk about the circular economy, natural capital, regenerative agriculture and community wealth building. But what do these mean in day-to-day life? It's about being smarter on what materials we use, what resources we use, and putting a greater value on them. It's throwing out the throwaway culture. It's make, do and mend. It's looking backwards to look forward. It's shopping local and businesses using local suppliers. It's learning from the past, but supercharging those lessons using modern technology and looking to the next generations to help us solve the challenges and to lead the way in doing things differently. We can use digital technology to reach new markets, to collaborate with new partners, to promote our art, our businesses, our talent, anywhere in the world. We can use sensor technology in textiles and art. We can use data to map, shape and innovate in any sector. As is often the way, many of our local businesses and creative industries are already doing this and leading the way. Jas P. Wilson, the epitome of the circular economy, or make do and mend, as Billy Wilson describes it. The ethical dairy, not only leading the field in organic farming and cow and calf dairy production by now topping the Amazon bestseller chart with their dairy story. Lovett Mill, Selkirk's The General Store, Alchemy, The Big Burn Supper, and one of my favourites, Lucy Robertson from Harriet Watt's work in interactive tech-enabled textiles, and her sonic flock. For Scotland to be the first nation in the UK to become a net zero economy, we must rethink what an economy needs to deliver. We need to create the well-being economy that we need. You might have read the works of Professor Mariana Mazzucato or Mark Carney, who speak about values too, and developing a mission-based approach to build a new economy that works for all and not just for some. That's what we need to do, and we can do it. One business, one community, one sector at a time, here in the south of Scotland.